at the James Beard House with Justin Walker of Earth at Hidden Pond. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
So first, tell me a little bit about the restaurant.
Well, it's a unique space. It's a restaurant in the middle of the woods in coastal Maine. We're only a few miles from the ocean, but we're nestled in a forest of cottages and a restaurant that's all built from wood and lots of alfresco dining, wood-fired ovens. It's a little kind of oasis in the middle of the woods.
And what's the advantage of being in an oasis in the woods and being in coastal Maine?
Being in Maine in general is amazing. Obviously, we have amazing seafood.
Right.
We have interesting growing seasons because of the ocean, what that does to the late fall and bringing a lot of spring items in the early fall and late summer. And also a lot of great wild things. Lots of wild mushrooms that we do forage ourselves, lots of wild edible vegetables in the spring and through the summer. So it's a very diverse area, very interesting. Culinarily, it's great because we're in a bubble. Right. We're not necessarily following trends. We're just using what we have and what comes to us, and makes it very exciting and interesting creatively.
And how do you find that the diner compares to if you were in a city? Because obviously it's a destination restaurant. You also have locals. So how do you balance that?
Well, the menu kind of runs the gamut. You can come to Earth and have, a simple wood-fired pizza and some meatballs, or you can have, foie gras and olive oil poached swordfish and coconut ash ice cream. I mean, so it runs the gamut. It's great.
How do the seasons affect you? I mean, you mentioned sort of the growing season, but especially in terms of the crowd, the clientele, people coming in. How does that affect?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really unique place because our base clientele is very sophisticated. So we're not really kind of constricted by what you would think of as sort of Maine dining. Yeah. We're able to do pretty much what we want, comparable to things you'd see in cities, but with a twist. But for our, for the locals, that love to come in for chicken wings and a beer, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. It's finding the balance of both.
Yeah, I think it works really well. In that way, the restaurant's it's exciting for us, exciting for the staff, exciting for our guests. So.
And you're known for local products and farming and really getting involved in the products that you work with. Why is that so important for the restaurant?
Ordering from produce companies or meat companies, or really even ordering from seed catalogs, is not quite as exciting as it is to have farmers that know you're really interested in what they have and using what they have. And we have a philosophy where we don't really ask people to grow things for us. We just encourage them to try things they haven't done before and offer some interesting options. And I think that's what helps us be creative, because we always have interesting things. We have farms all around right around the corner from the restaurant that have gooseberries that are, haven't been legal to grow forever and have been on the property for 100 years, and we get to use those, and pears, and so it's really, really cool. And right down to our lobsters in our restaurant come from one lobsterman, one boat. It makes a big difference.
And what are some of the ingredients that you find surprising in Maine? Because obviously people hear Maine, they think of lobster, they think of seafood.
Yeah.
But are there other items that you've found are really indicative of the climate and sort of the place of Maine?
Yeah, I mean, in the spring, comes to mind, stinging nettles in the spring are really prevalent. We use something called tea berries quite often, which is a wild spearmint. And also mushrooms in Maine, and that climate are truly unbelievable and prolific. Chicken of the woods, hen of the woods, black trumpets, porcini, yellowfoots, chanterelles, and we're able to just go into the woods on the property and just come out with these things. It's pretty awesome.
Huge advantage.
Yeah, definitely.
And your career has been in New England and primarily in Maine.
Yeah.
How do you see New England cuisine evolving? Because there was a time when it was all, clam chowder, and it was very one-dimensional, and it's really been evolving over the years. How have you seen that?
Well, I think, a lot of chefs, especially from the Boston area, have come up to Portland, and Portland's sort of I would say is a little bit more the epicenter of interesting restaurants. And as food sort of evolved, with the White Barn Inn and Arrow's restaurant, starting the trends, And with these other people, other chefs and restaurants kind of, you know, taking it another level, the area is able to support all different kinds of food. You know, sort of avant-garde food for some places, Asian restaurants that are done by, you know, they're done really well. And then these destination restaurants on the seacoast. The seacoast towns have really changed. You know, they were the clam chowder, the lobster roll, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, obviously.
Still
but
delicious.
I mean, but these restaurants have popped up that are doing, you know, serious food for people that are coming to expect it. You know, so many chefs I talk to in Boston and cities that are, you know, talking about, you know, oh, we got this great, you know, duck egg, or we get these great, you know, goats or goat's milk from this farm. And when I start talking about, you know, I have a farm with dairy goats, and I have a farm with ducks that I own, you know, that we live the lifestyle and but put it into food that isn't just, you know, rustic, simple food. It's you know, a little bit sophisticated. They're blown away. So I think it's just drawing chefs to Maine. You know, I think it's like, it's such a great area. It's rural, but still close to metropolitan areas that you don't lose that feel of sophistication.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us here at James Beard House. Really appreciate it.
Great.